What's groovy, y'all? I'm Danye.
I'm Marcia, and this is the
Hey Sissy Podcast.
Sissy, go sissy. Hey sissy, go sissy. Hey sissy,
peace to the haters.
go
Bye,
sissy.
see you later.
Hey,
You my
sissy,
road dog,
go
sis,
sissy.
we are greater.
Hey,
Holding
sissy,
it down, and
go
you know we stay
sissy.
true.
Hey,
Fam
sissy,
to the end
go
is how we
sissy.
do.
Hey,
Fam to the
sissy,
end
go
is how we
sissy.
do.
Hey,
Fam to the
sissy,
end
go
is how we
sissy.
do.
Hey sissy, go sissy. Hey sissy, go sissy. Go, 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 go.
We the bomb, let's go, sissy.
Hey.
We the bomb, let's go, sissy.
Hey.
We the bomb, let's go, sissy.
Hey.
I like how we didn't got into a little groove.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I forgot to tell you.
What?
Do you know we made our 1 year anniversary?
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Why you didn't say nothing?
Oh.
We could have had like a little anniversary podcast or something.
Oh, yeah, we could have. Yeah.
So I forgot, and someone didn't say nothing. But in August, we had made a year of doing this podcast.
Oh, word? I didn't know we started in August.
Yeah, we did. So
I told you I was watching a couple of them because it came up in my recommendation on YouTube.
we came up in your recommendations.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Just because I'm subscribed to the channel. At least I think I'm subscribed.
I'm subscribed.
So we really technically only got 70 subscribers.
No, we count. We still got 72. We count as our subscribers.
You don't watch our videos.
I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I go back and watch them, or I watch them just to see how well we did. Like sometimes I be real proud of us. I'm like, oh, we just flowed through that effortlessly.
Oh, I don't watch them.
See, you supposed to support us if no one else. Help us get our views.
Oh, yeah, you right. You right.
Anyway, that's not what today's episode
I'm
is
gonna cut
about.
that out.
No, why
Yeah.
you be cutting stuff out? I leave it in.
Oh,
It'd be in the audio version if y'all want to hear the stuff she cuts out.
yeah, I'm gonna cut it out, y'all.
Why?
Because I gotta edit it.
You don't have to edit this out. This is casual banter to start off the episode. We don't always have to jump right into the topic at hand.
Yeah, you're right. That makes
Thank you.
sense. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, y'all. So this episode today, we are talking about voting, but in particular, voting in Texas and Harris County, where we reside.
Yes.
Woo woo. So Danye,
Uh-huh.
we did some research today.
Yes.
Tell me what you've learned.
A lot. I learned a little bit about what I didn't know prior.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm the kind of person who's not really into politics and things like that. And this is gonna be my first time voting, and everything like that. And you know, voting has always been critical, but is really, you know, critical now in this time, especially with a lot of, you know, flare up of racial divide and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important that we vote. And you know, I want to exercise my right. You know,
Yes, because literally our ancestors fought for our right to vote.
Mhm.
And fun fact, only 30% of the black population has ever voted at the max.
that's not good.
That's not good. And that's even after, you know, even with voter suppression and after civil rights and all of that.
Right.
And it's like, even though still to this day, they still be trying to suppress our vote,
Mm-hmm.
we still don't, a lot of people choose not to vote.
Right, because they don't like the candidates.
Well, not only that, they think that their vote doesn't work or their vote doesn't matter, but then clearly it does matter because the people who consistently vote, which are typically white, middle class people,
Mm-hmm.
they get to determine what happens in this country, which is also why this country is geared towards white people.
Right, so we pretty much giving them the power to make the decisions for the people who are going to make the decisions for them. You know, and you not voting is actually a vote because
You're voting for white supremacy by not voting. against
yes,
it.
pretty much, and you're in the person in the office could go a completely different way if the people who didn't vote voted.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. So that's like in 2018 in the midterm election, we went from having 2 black female Harris County judges to 19 in one election.
that's good.
That is excellent. So it's just like if black people just voted more, not just for black people, because a la Daniel Cameron in Kentucky, don't just vote for black folks, but vote for candidates that at least represent what you believe in, which is why Diane and I did a little research for this episode for our Harris County, Texas voters.
Right.
And so we're basically going to talk about who you should at least look up when you go to before you go to the polling booth, the main positions that are going to affect your life that you should research.
Right. Like, if anything, you guys go and check out our part 1 of voting. We kind of go over a little bit of this, but we also kind of talk about why it's essential for you to vote and how more important your local government is versus the federal government. So definitely check out our last podcast on voting and check out this one.
Your vote has power.
Yes.
So before we get into the list of candidates you should research, a little general information about voting in Texas's upcoming election. But
I didn't write down the candidates. I just wrote down their jobs.
I know.
Oh, okay. I thought you wanted me to name the actual candidates.
No.
Oh, okay.
So for Texas in general, early voting starts October 13th, and I need to look up when it ends. So it is October 13th through the October 30th. If you can go early vote, do so. They have your times for your local polling station on the Harris County website. You can go to, what was it?
HarrisVotes.com.
HarrisVotes.com or vote411.org, and they'll lead you to how to find out the times and days that your closest polling location is open. Also, pro tip, if you vote early, you can vote anywhere in the county. You don't have to vote just within your district, which is another reason why I like voting early, because I've moved a bit, and so when I vote early, regardless where I moved, I'm still registered in Harris County, but I don't have to specifically go to a polling location where I am. I mean, where I'm registered to vote originally, I can go where I am.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
And if you're gonna do absentee ballot, which is AKA mailing your ballot, you have to apply. Did you know that?
Nope.
You have to apply for an absentee ballot, because you can only get an absentee ballot if you are won't be in the county where you're registered on election day. So my cousin Morgan, she moved to Iowa for grad school. Well, she applied for absentee ballot because she's registered in Texas, but she's currently off in school. So she's gonna mail her ballot back. Fun fact, President Trump is registered to vote in New York, and he's gonna send out his mail-in ballot.
Oh, he can vote too?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that. Also, the candidates able to vote?
Yeah.
Oh, can they vote for themselves?
Of course.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's something I didn't know. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so then this year election day is on November 3rd, which is a Tuesday, which another reason why they be trying to get folk not to vote is that they put voting on a big old Tuesday instead of, and then
on a weekend where people are off.
And also it's not a national holiday, so everyone in other countries who like for their citizens to vote, voting day is a national holiday. Everyone gets off work. We get all these holidays off: Thanksgiving, Veterans Day, President's Day,
But not even voting.
but not voting day, because why? They don't want you to vote.
So I encourage y'all, take advantage of y'all early voting.
Yeah, and another reason where you can get an absentee ballot is if you're over the age of 65. I think they allowed that this year. I don't know if that's always been a requirement, but if you're over 65, you can do a mail-in ballot. And fun fact, if you're in jail, you can do a mail-in ballot.
Oh, so they let people in jail vote now? Oh, that's good.
I think as long as you don't have a felony.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So it says confined to jail serving a misdemeanor sentence. So
Okay.
or confined to jail without bail pending a trial for a felony or appeal to a felony. So as long as you got a misdemeanor, you're not a felon, or you're waiting trial,
You can
you
vote.
can vote from jail.
So if you know somebody in jail, or if you're in jail and this reaches you, vote.
Yeah. Tell your people they can vote from jail if they're like waiting trial or for a misdemeanor. Also, so you have until October 23rd to apply to get your mail-in ballot, and then once you get your mail-in ballot, you essentially need to send that bad boy off as soon as you can, and you have to have it postmarked by 7 p.m. on election day. Like, that's when it has to be postmarked. But also, you can fill it out and then go drop it off in a polling box.
Okay.
So you don't have to. Yeah, because y'all know, if y'all been paying attention, the post office been having big issues. There's nothing the post office workers have been doing. Shout out to the people who trying to do their jobs in the midst of people trying to sabotage them.
Right.
But the Postmaster General has been doing some shady stuff, like removing sorting machines, removing mailboxes and things like that, slowing down the mail and things. And I think the Supreme Court or some kind of court blocked these measures he put in place so that they have to put the sorting machines back and put some of the boxes back. But if you don't trust sending your mail, your ballot through the post office because of the shady things people have been doing, you can drop it off at a box that will take your mail in
And
ballot.
I think that's crazy that people are trying to manipulate and do that to stop people's votes from getting in just so a certain person could win.
Always, sis.
That's
Always.
crazy.
Sis.
Far.
Always. So here's another thing that people do. You may have not watched the news, but every election cycle, there's always the stories that gravitate between who's winning and then also the long polling lines.
Right.
And because, fun fact, I've always lived in like the affluent areas, so to speak. Right now I live in the suburbs, but I've always lived in like, not always, ever since I got out the hood, I haven't lived in the hood.
Right.
And I think the longest it's ever taken me to vote was like 45 minutes during the midterm election. Because I early vote, like I said, but some days it's taking me like 15 minutes. And it's because I live in like the affluent areas where there's way more polling locations than there are in the hood.
Right.
Which is weird, seeing as the affluent areas are less populated, but they have more polling locations.
Interesting.
Does that sound logical to you? Okay, I digress. Anyway, so yeah, those are fun facts. Apply for your mail-in ballot by October 23rd if you are not within your registered county, and you won't be there for election day if you're over the age of 65 or elderly or disabled, or if you know like your grandma need help and you ain't gonna be able to take her to the polls, make sure you help grandma register to vote by apply for her mail-in ballot by October 23rd, and then help grandma fill out her ballot and send it off before November 3rd or drop it off at a polling location. And then early voting, like I said, is October 13th, which is today, because that's when we're releasing this today. October 13th through October 30th is early voting.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And on to important positions you should pay attention to on your ballot.
Okay. So again, if you are in Harris, go to harrisvotes.com. You can get a sample ballot to see all the people. You can get information, polling locations, and everything. I think it's super important to get that sample ballot so you know who is on that ballot and you can do your research. Marcy actually has an example of why it's important to research. So this is what the district attorney. So I'm gonna give y'all like pretty much the duties of the people we're voting for, because this is very essential and very important, because these are the people who directly affect your citizenship, really, you as a citizen. So the district attorney prosecutes felony crimes, investigates crimes, they present the cases to the grand jury, and I think this was so important. The district attorney represents victims of violence, like domestic violence and protective orders, and also they're essential in removing children from abusive households. So that stuff is important. If you are a victim of domestic violence or a child or something in an abusive home, your district attorney is important in getting them out of those situations and handling those cases.
Yeah, and if you're one of the people who care about police accountability, the district attorney is the one who prosecutes the police for excessive force or they kill a civilian on the job.
Right.
So a good example for Harris County. So our current district attorney is, what's her name?
Kim Ogg.
Kim Ogg, and her opponent is Mary Huffman. So a lot of people, Kim Ogg is not a perfect candidate, but she has like good and bad aspects of her. So one of the good aspects is she's prosecuted quite a few police officers over her term, especially if you're in Houston and you remember a couple of years ago, I guess it was like 2 years ago, a year or two ago, these officers, HPD officers, did this drug raid and they killed this couple. Well, come to find out, it was like a fake drug raid. Like they lied about everything, all the details.
Wow.
So they got fired first, and then I think one or two of them got persecuted like for murder. So Kim Og brought those charges against them for murder.
Right.
And so another thing that she did, let me see if I can remember what it was. So she does that she persecutes officers. Okay, she got rid of cash bail requirements for nonviolent criminals. So the reason why a lot of people sit in jail is because if they don't have the cash to bail themselves out, or their family don't have the cash to bail them out, they sit in jail until they wait for trial. Well, because our free lawyer system is so backed up with cases, people can sit in jail for 1 to 2 years. Sometimes people commit suicide and all kinds of things happen. So she got rid of the cash bail so people can just they can make bail without having the cash to do it. Well, with that being said, that's a good thing. But a problem with that on the other side is that often there's quite a few cases where people got out of jail and they committed more violent crimes than what they went to jail for.
Right.
So some people are like, don't like that. So, you can research more about Kim Og to see whether you would want to vote for her or not. But on the flip side, her opponent, which is Mary Huffman, she is currently the lawyer for the Houston Police Union, and she has been endorsed by police union. So if you care about police accountability, you might not want to vote for Mary Huffman. And Mary Huffman is the Republican candidate and Kim Og is the Democratic candidate.
Right.
So if you vote straight party, Democrat or Republican, you don't really care about researching these people. But if you are a person like me, I don't like to vote straight party.
Right.
Because I'm like, not to sound like President Trump, but there are good people on both sides.
Right.
Democratic and Republican. Their reason for either or may vary, but when it comes to certain positions, it's best to research both people so you vote accordingly. But if you want to vote straight party, that's your prerogative.
Yeah. And the thing is a person, like you said, is not going to be a perfect candidate. There may be things you like about a candidate and things you don't like. So you just got to find out what matches most with what you have a desire to see. In your local government and things like that. So you got to figure out what's most important to you.
Yeah, because the general election, the president is, because it's the highest position in the country, it gets all the media attention, all the focus. But when it comes to every election, general and midterm elections, there are so many people that, like Diane said, affect your life on a daily basis that you should care about literally more than the president.
Right. So with police brutality, we really can't gear all our anger towards President Trump. Our anger should really be with people like our district attorney, the people who are in charge of prosecuting those police officers. President Trump, that's not his job description. His focus is elsewhere, so we can't fault him for that. We need to fault the general attorney in Kentucky, who's lying and being used as a pawn. In 2 years, y'all, get him out of there. Get him out of there.
All right, who else should we research?
So pay attention to your attorney general. They handle all legal matters. They represent all legal things. They enforce child support. They enforce child support. So if you have an issue with child support, find somebody who's trying to get rid of it. I don't know. If you like child support, find somebody who encourages it.
Or if you're a man and you think the child support laws are unfair against men, find somebody who supports you.
Right. They secure justice for Texans. Well, that's our personal attorney general.
Right.
But of course for your state. It's important your attorney general handles human trafficking.
Houston got a bad human trafficking problem.
Word.
Girl, we like one of the capitals.
Oh, Jesus.
That's what.
So y'all pay attention to your attorney general because they deal with all that human trafficking stuff. They do crimes against children, election fraud, Medicaid fraud, victim assistance programs, and things like that. So,
who was our current attorney general?
I think it
What's
said
the ballot? I got the ballot right here.
I think it said Ken Braxton or something like that is the current attorney general.
That sounds right, actually.
I think
sounds
so.
right.
Ken Braxton or something like that is the current attorney general. I think so.
I can't scan fast enough to find it, but I believe you.
Now I don't know if the attorney general is currently on the ballot or not.
Oh, they might not be up
I
for re-election.
don't think I've
You're
seen
right.
it. Yeah. So another thing is all of these positions may not be on your ballot, but these are the most important ones. But they may not all be on the ballot currently, but stay on the lookout for future elections when they are on the ballot again.
Yeah.
Hold on to this information.
Yeah, so because like governor and mayor aren't on this election's ballot, but they will be midterms.
Right.
Yeah. Who else we got?
So we got the Chief Justice of Supreme Court. Go back and look at the track record. Look at their track record and see how they voted on cases in the past, and things like that, and see if you disagree or agree with their decision.
Yeah.
The state senate is someone who pretty much vote on laws. So you want to pay attention to the laws that are being, considered, and see who your state senate is potentially voting on, who they have voted for in the past.
So like currently our U.S. Senator is John Cornyn. He's a Republican. I ain't look up his track record, but one of the reasons why Texas doesn't do like the Obamacare extension. So basically, where you know how when the Affordable Care Act passed, putting words together. When it passed, there was a measure in it that said that states had to expand Medicare to cover people who fell in between the Medicare requirements and the ACA requirements. Well, Texas voted to not expand Medicare, and one of the people who would have voted on that type of measure was John Cornyn.
Okay.
And he's also, he represents us in the Senate. So if he's like Republican and you look at the things he's voted on, because you can always look up what they voted on in the Senate.
Right.
And you research what he's voted on, and he's voted on things you don't agree with, then you can change that, or you can vote against him.
Right.
But if you like what he's done, go on about your life.
The representative, they kind of have a similar position to the Senate, the state Senate. They draft and vote on bills and resolutions. They're really our spokesperson. They're your spokesperson for issues in the state and the district. And I also said they also can set taxes or how taxes are spent. So if you need to look at your current state representative and who's their running mate to see how like their current one is spending the tax money and how they're saying the tax money should be spent if you want your tax money to go to good use and not just being spent miscellaneously.
Yeah. Fun fact.
Okay.
Last election, I voted for Lizzie Fletcher. Not because I looked her up, but because the commercials kept calling her Lion Lizzie Fletcher.
LOL.
And I was like, I know this commercial is trash, and I'm gonna vote for her because of y'all in this trash commercial calling her Lion Lizzie Fletcher. But another fun fact: this election for Harris County, Lizzie Fletcher's a Democrat. The person running against her is Wesley Hunt, and he's a Black Republican.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna have to look him up
and see what he about.
What you about, Wesley? Because we ain't finna have another Daniel Cameron over here.
Y'all just don't vote for people because they Black or they're a minority.
We gotta say that more.
Please do not do that. Like with Joe Biden and what's the name?
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala.
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 It ain't Camila.
No, it's Kamala.
Oh, Kamala. Just because she Black or whatever, and Joe Biden said he down for the people, don't.
But the alternative is Donald Trump.
There are some people from the Green Party on there and the Liberation Party.
Do not vote for the other. Because the way our election is set up, it's not. It's majority wins.
Oh yeah, that is true. Yeah. Y'all don't write in Kanye West either.
Please do not write in Kanye West's name. For the love of all things that are quality and sane. Not saying he's insane, but the same thing to do would be to not write in his name.
Because that's what they want.
Yes, and it will literally be futile.
Don't do it.
Okay, who's next?
So just don't do it. You have your sheriff. They're responsible for the preservation of peace, and they enforce the traffic laws, and pretty much they're responsible for your police officers on the street.
This is true.
So if you want to be mindful of who they're hiring, who they're allowing in these police stations, who the police officers, you need to make sure you get the right sheriff in there, because pretty much they're the overseer over those things.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't just have anybody in there, especially when there's so much, you know, right now so much tension dealing with the police. Be mindful of your sheriff, for real.
Our current sheriff for Harris County is Ed Gonzalez. He's a Democrat. I haven't heard anything bad about Ed Gonzalez. I'll be voting for him again.
But I mean, you can still look at his running mate, but also look at his track record, y'all. Look at these people's track record.
Yep.
You have your county attorney. The county attorney, they prosecute misdemeanors and investigate crimes. So if you do something small, hey, that county attorney, they prosecute your misdemeanor. So if you don't want to get more time or more
A harsh, yeah.
harsh